popular Andy Devine with his Western sidekick, Guy Madison.
Sometimes his sidekick was as popular as a series leading man, and that was certainly the case with gravel-voiced Andy Devine, who played the lovable, funny, and overweight Jingles on the adventures of Wild Bill Hickok.
Sugar pops are tops.
Devine joined handsome actor Guy Madison, who played Wild Bill, and they both enjoyed a long ride from 1951 to 1958. The show was based on the legendary Pony Express rider, Indian scout, and marshal of Abilene, Kansas, Mr. James Butler Hickok.
And then you shout, Kellogg's Sugar Corn Pops.
A longtime sponsor of the program was Kellogg's Cereals. By the way, the young lad in the commercial is Mickey Dolenz, who went on to appear in Circus Boy and then became one of the Monkees.
Pops are sweeter, crisper too. They're shot with sugar, through and through. Kellogg's Sugar Corn Pops.
Hey VC, this is Ron. Took some time off for a few weeks and I'm back. I'm ready to get down to business. Since we just saw a young Mickey Dolenz, I thought it would be good to start off with a couple of monkeys that I recently picked up. And this is Monkey's Headquarters, mono copy. And I also got Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones stereo. And these two albums are amongst the best Monkees albums. These two and Head are the crucial three. And I never had these before, so real happy to get these. And since I've been a VC member, I've been kind of on the lookout for Paul Revere and the Raiders, and I recently picked this up. It's Paul Revere and the Raiders' Greatest Hits, 1967. And I don't know how scarce it is, but this does have the souvenir booklet on the inside. And it's nice full color, heavy stock paper. And the photos are kind of like the Monkees. To appeal to the teeny boppers. And I imagine a lot of these got cut up and put on girls' walls, and so they're probably not all that easy to find. And this does have a track on here that was previously unreleased at the time. It's The Legend of Paul Revere, and it makes its first appearance on this album. Then I got The Fool. And this was a band of Dutch artists that moved to London, and they worked in all different types of mediums. They painted, designed, and obviously made an album. And this is good pop psych, UK folk psych. Male-female vocals. It's on Mercury, 1968, Red Label, and there's a lot of information about these guys on the internet if you want to check them out. And they did do, they designed the Cream's instruments. They did Ginger Baker's drumhead and Clapton and Bruce's guitars. So that's pretty cool. And this is a good album. Side 1's pretty good. Side 2 has got a good instrumental, but the rest of it's kind of just rehash of what was going on side 1. Not real inventive, but it's pretty good. I think it's well worth having for sure. And this is CJ and Fish, Country Joe and the Fish, their last album, 1970. And I showed a copy of this a while back, and it was a white label promo. And this is a sealed promo that I just got, and which is kind of unusual to find one of these still sealed. And it's got a demonstration promotional stamp, and it's got a hole. And then it was shrink wrapped in the factory. It's got a ventilation hole to signify that it is the original shrink. So that's pretty cool. Okay, this is Marion Siegel with Silver Jade, and it is UK folk, male-female vocals, And this is a pretty good album. Well written. The female wrote all the lyrics, which are psychedelic in nature. The music is not. It's just more basic folk. And it was recorded in the UK, and it features Pete Sears on bass. And it's a pretty good album. Plenty of these on eBay if you're interested. And DJM Records. This one is Pop Sound 70. It's a German pressing, and it's a Polydor label sampler. It's got UK, European bands on it. It's blues rock in nature, but there's a few things on here that are in different style. And I've mainly bought this because of the vinyl. I mean, it is just awesome, bright orange, day glow almost vinyl. The camera's probably not going to pick it up, but when you pull this out, it just glows. So that's very cool. And it's got bands like The Who, John Mayall, Taste, Fat Mattress, Jack Bruce, Golden Earring, Savage Rose, to name a few. Not all that great musically as far as samplers go, but cool vinyl. Okay, I got a couple of 45s, and I got these really cheap. All this stuff that I've been showing is recent finds. This is an early ABBA single from their first album, 1973. It was recorded in 72. It's their third record. And this is a Dutch pressing on Polydor. And it's got, instead of a paper label, it's got the printed ink label, which they were, Polydor was doing at the time. And I was really hoping this was going to be worth a lot of money, because some of these early ABBA singles are worth a lot. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I saw some going for $500-600, so unfortunately this is not one of those. This is a more common one. I'm looking at maybe $20 or something for this, but I only paid $1.50 for it, so you know, can't complain too much about that. And then I got a Funkadelic EP, and this came inside One Nation Under a Groove 1978 album. It's on polystyrene, so Warner Brothers cheaped out on us on that one. And it's all instrumental. It's about 15-16 minutes long. And near mint, thrift store find. Gonna have to get the album now. I don't have any Funkadelic, so I'm gonna have to step up and get some. Okay, now I'm gonna show some stuff that I pulled out of my collection. This is the Byrds Pre-Flight. This is pre-Columbia material. Came out in 1969, and it's on the Together Records label, which is also the label that the second Sagittarius was on. And this was the very first album I bought when I was a kid, probably around 73. I got it for 99 cents at the cutout bin at FedMart department store here in Phoenix. This is not the original copy that I bought as a kid, but this is the album. And so it's cool to have a lot of memories behind this album. Then I got the Pretty Things. This is original US mono. Mono's what you want because the stereos are going to be fake rechanneled. It's on the Blue Fontana label, 1965. And Phil May's got some really long hair here, going down to his shoulders, but I think the guy in the Hullabaloos beat him out in 64 for hair length. But his hair was pretty long for those times. This is Parachute. This is Rolling Stone's Album of the Year for 1969. And I believe this is Dixieland Farm. This is his favorite Pretty Things album. So Chris, drool over this one because this is totally near mint, cover and vinyl. Okay, this is the Seeds Future 1967 album, and this was the first Seeds album that I ever bought. I bought it about '83, and this one does have the inserts in it, so I will show those. This picture here was the picture that was used on the sleeve for the Hit Pocket records, the mini flexi disc records. And this was a cutout sheet that Sky Saxon designed and drew. And you could cut those little pictures out and glue them on stuff. And then this is another picture that we used on the Can't Seem to Make You Mine picture sleeve. The inside is done by Sky. I think actually the whole album cover was done by Sky Saxon. Okay, this is Bookend, Simon and Garfunkel 1967. Great album here. And this does have the poster on the inside that I will show. This is Eden's Children. This is their first album. They were a power trio. A lot of fuzz on this album. And it's a mono copy. I still need to get their second album. And this one is a white label promo. So being in mono, this album's got a lot of balls. Okay, DevX66 showed this album in one of his videos recently, and he showed the first version of it, which was uncensored. This is the second version of it, which is censored and also more rare. And I think this was a promotional copy because it's in the original shrink, and it's got this interesting sticker on it, and I'll get a close-up of that. So this album is more like horn rock. It doesn't really do anything for me. I've never actually sit down and listened to this whole thing, but I kind of know what the music's like. I don't really care for it. For me, it's mainly notable for the album cover. Okay, now I'm going to show a few albums that are Arizona related. This is Beethoven Soul, 1967 on Dot. And this is just kind of lightweight pop psych, and this is notable for having two guys in the band that came out of Phil and the Frantics. They were a popular Phoenix garage band here in Phoenix, and that is Bill Powell and John Lambert, guitarist and bassist. Male vocals, the female does back them up. She doesn't sing any solos. Pretty decent album. I think Sundays has reissued this. This is my copy of 20th Century Zoo, and this is their only album on Vault. And I've talked about this band before. They were originally known as the Bittersweets. And there is a band member on here, Randy Wells, and he joined the band when they became 20th Century Zoo. He was not in the Bittersweets, and he helped to give them a heavier sound. And he was previously in a local Phoenix band called the Laser Beats. And the Laser Beats were also notable for having Neil Smith as a drummer who would later go into the Alice Cooper group. Good album. It's kind of marred by a couple of heavy blues rock tracks, but the rest of it's heavy acid rock. Very, very cool. This is Warren S. Richardson Jr. on Cotillion, 1969 album, still sealed. I've never heard this. I should get on YouTube and see if anybody's got any of it posted, but I know it's kind of like heavy biker rock with maybe a little bit of psych influence. And it's notable for being produced by Mike Condello. And this is Mike Condello Phase 1. I've showed this album before. It was a sealed copy, but this is an open copy and it is a white label promo. And look at this label. There's no Skeptor logo on there. It doesn't say Skeptor on there. It just says Condello twice. It doesn't even say Phase 1. Very unusual for a white label promo to have those features. Okay, almost done here. Got a few comps. This is Turds on a Bum Ride, and I guess I got 2 editions here, and there was a 3rd edition. I don't know if the 3rd edition came out on vinyl. I've been doing a little checking real recently about this, and the 3rd edition may have only came out on CD. But these are just killer comps, various artists, a lot of cool rarities. I'll scan the groups on here so you can get an idea of what these are like. A lot of great tracks. And I'm pretty sure that these are bootlegs and they are out of Italy, in case I didn't mention that. It's got a rare Lollipop Shop track on here. I think it's called Mr. President or Hey Mr. President. And I think it's from that biker soundtrack album that they did. Angels from Hell, I think it was called. And there are reissues of that. I need to get one. Yeah, but these are just killer. And they have inner sleeves with track information, band information on the inside. So very cool. And these came out in 1993. This is a 1991 comp. It's Shut Down 66. It's on Ernie Douglas Records. And I think Norton had a hand in putting this out. And here's the label. I love this front cover. It's got all these good looking high school girls, but then it's got all these nerdy guys sandwiched in between them. Very cool. And this is cool for me because it's got a Phoenix band on here called the Possums. They only had one record. And there's a picture of them live right there. And yeah, it appears that Barry Livingston, who played Ernie Douglas, had a hand in this album because it says, "Yeah, it's me, all right, Ernie Douglas from My Three Sons." So I don't know. He probably was just hired to help promote it. Or he may have been instrumental in putting it out, I don't know. But really cool comp, and there's a picture of a guy right here, and there's like a little arrow under his portrait. And the girl right next to him is Jan Smithers, who played Bailey on WKRP in Cincinnati. So there's a celebrity on the front of this cover. So that's cool. This is a really good one to search out, and they are available. Discogs has got a bunch of them. So if you don't have it, grab it. Alright guys, that does it. I think that's going to do it for now, and take it easy.